Xenu. Got an update for you guys. Very Theta. It's 2 a.m. Thunderstorms, Louisiana. If there's one thing I like about the weather here, it's the thunderstorms. So, Narconon Ojai, as far as I know, owned by the Steiners, has burned down to the ground. Of all the tragedies over there with the fire and people losing their homes, this is one one tragedy that isn't really a tragedy. Very glad it burned down to the ground. So we got that information from an anonymous tipster, and also Jim Hamry, pretty legendary registrar from missions all over the world, trained some of the best registrars in the world, recently passed away. When I say recently, you know how Scientology does. They don't let anybody know. So the comm lag on that would be probably 2 to 3 months estimate, best estimate. I find it rather odd that he died now. He was in poor health. But I'm not sure how old he was at the time he died. But that's the guy that regged me and many people. 6-hour registration cycles. Give us all you got. Give us your credit cards. Give us your gold. Give us your money. Give us your silver certificates. Give us everything. Jim was a very uptoned person. And when I say uptone, I mean on staff, he always waxed enthusiastic. He wasn't always a bad guy. There were times when he was okay, but the harm that he did far exceeds the good. It makes me wonder, on a side note, I'm not sure if anyone knows, but Stairway to Heaven, if you listen to the lyrics, I heard a rumor. This is an old rock and roll rumor. It's not related to Scientology, but it is, because the song supposedly was about a girl that Jimmy Page dated who was a Scientologist, and she's buying her Stairway to Heaven. There's a lady that's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying her Stairway to Heaven. When she gets there, she knows that the stores are all closed. In a word, she can't get what she came for. Ooh, woo, 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 and it makes me wonder. Your head is humming and it won't go. The piper's calling you to join him. The piper. What does the piper do? He hypnotizes all the rats. In case you don't know. Yes, there are some paths you can go by, but in the long run, there's still time to change the road you're on. Woo, 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 and it makes me wonder. Dear lady, can you hear the wind blow? The piper's calling you to join him. And did you know your stairway lies on the whispering wind? Woo, 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 and it makes me wonder. The Steiners got involved in Scientology in the 60s. That's the lightning. There's no telling how many lives they've ruined with their missions. They've disappeared like rats. They can no longer have Scientology missions. Jim Hamry is dead. You're going to find out with Adam's interview and Jason's interview and Travis's interview, what kind of people Tom and Kathy were, or at least how they presented themselves. And we all have a different perception of them as staff members when we were staff. Some people were completely terrified of them, and some people had no buttons on them at all. Adam had no buttons on them. He had no problem telling them how he felt. Nor did I. Jason's going to have a lot to say. He told me some things I wasn't aware of. And indeed, he confirmed that Jim is dead. Supposedly from heart failure, congestive heart failure. There was one other thing I wanted to update you on. There's more. There's going to be more. In my game stream the other night, I mentioned something that Jason told me that I hadn't known. So if you want to find out what that is, go check it out. And these streams that I'm doing on Mass Effect, very space opera, very there's, for it being a mainstream game, there's a lot of things in the game that seem Scientological. It's not, I don't think there was any Scientologists working on the game, but it's just coincidence. But that was the whole reason why I wanted to do this series about what would it be like if Commander Shepard, was a Scientologist. Now, I understand a lot of the subscribers that I have aren't really gamers, but there's a very, very deep story, and the way that I'm framing it will give you some insight as to how staff operates, because I'm running the ship as a Scientologist of a high position would. Turns out it's very antisocial, but it's not all bad. And it's an important thing to remember that a lot of people skip over. They want to hate on cults. They want to hate hate will never dispel hate. So, Christmas is coming up, and I've got a Christmas present for you guys. But you'll have to wait until the day after Christmas. Okay? Santa Claus is coming to town. And he's been making a list and checking it twice. And he's gonna find out who's naughty or nice. And the Steiners are not on the nice list, I promise. I gotta tell you guys, things are starting to happen that I wasn't sure if they were ever gonna happen. But it's happening. And hopefully it continues to happen. And has a cumulative snowball effect. So the series that I want to do, where there's actual people acting out things that happen on staff, I'm still writing it. I'm still going to be getting input from other staff members I work with. But in the interim, in the meantime, if you're interested in that sort of thing, because whenever you see it, whenever it's done, whenever the first few episodes are published, you may have trouble understanding if you don't catch up on the lingo now, because there's, there's going to be things that you can learn now from watching the stream that'll give you insight into how policies and bulletins and tech and handlings and programs and recoveries all work. And that's going to be a huge, crucial part of understanding the series itself. Otherwise, it'll just look like, what is this? What is this? You'll see some serious abuse, but you might not understand it fully. And my goal is to help you guys understand. So, a new subscriber who is a psychologist jumped into the stream the other day, incredibly concerned that I was basically going to be re-indoctrinating myself by role-playing as a Scientologist. I appreciated his concern very much. And I had to do a bit of convincing on him, because he's a psychologist. He knows what he's talking about. There is danger in what I'm doing as far as that goes. But I stopped using the language for 2 years purposefully. I stopped thinking like a Scientologist purposefully. That was difficult because there was no other way for me to think. So there's a bit of a duality to my nature, and I can flip on the Scientology and I can flip it off. The goal ultimately is once I'm able to show you guys staff conditions in mission networks, specifically the Steiner mission. I never met any other mission holder quite like the Steiners, and I've met quite a few. Not as many as someone like Chris Shelton, who worked with mission holders on a regular basis, but there's not many quite like them. And there's some history there that I'd love to uncover before they're dead. These are people who were in Scientology when Charles Manson went to CC. They remember. They didn't talk about it too much, but as with any Scientologist, they're quite braggadocious and have mentioned it. Tom and Kathy also had on staff at all times a person who was very peculiar, on special missions all the time, and he wasn't ever assigned a post. Occasionally he would get assigned mess work, but he had the demeanor of a psychopath. He seemed very troubled. And he would go off for months at a time and then come back and seemed very disturbed. I don't know what he was doing. Nobody knew what he was doing as far as I know, except Tom and Kathy. So, as far as I'm concerned, these are some very dangerous people. And they think they're untouchable. And I was never afraid of them. So, stay tuned to Aaron's channel, because at this point, after Aaron and I's interview, there are now 3 ex-Scientologist staff members from different posts that all worked at Steiner missions that are going to be talking about their experience. And I believe that these are missions that were very different than other missions. Maybe I'm wrong. But sometimes I doubt myself. You ever do that? Doubt yourself, and then you find out I was right. I'm going to go with my gut on this one and say that the Steiners have been into some deep shit in regards to Scientology. I don't know if we'll ever be able to get to the bottom of it, but what we can do is expose what we can. And I'm so relieved that there is other people now, besides myself, that are going to be talking about it. So, that's what I got. Beautiful night. I did get the job at Lyft. I need to really start making some money because my car note's due, and there's a prescription that's $270 something that I need to go pick up. The good news is that the inflammation has gone down. I'm not sure exactly how or why, but I did. This might sound crazy, but I drank some of the clay, some of that healing clay stuff, and boy, did it do a number on my stomach. But the inflammation's gone down. I can walk without the cane now. I still am holding it in case I lose my balance or my knees go out, but I'm walking without the cane, so that's good. I also got my Medicaid card in, and I'm going to be going to see a different urologist just to get a second opinion on the surgery post-op from last year, because I am having issues with that, and it's affecting what I can do to earn money. And my goal is to get out of my folks' house in 2018, get back in school, and continue doing what I'm doing here. I got a lot of really ambitious goals, but if you find that I'm not uploading things on a regular basis, don't worry about it. 2 years went by where I didn't upload a damn thing. I never forget about this. I've forgiven, and I got nothing but love for everyone who's still in Scientology, because it's a trap. It's just like being in an abusive domestic partnership. People don't understand why people don't leave, and it's difficult. Every situation is different, and I'm happy to do what I can to inform the general public of what's going on. I think as a whole, the community of ex-Scientologists are doing a great job. Everybody. Chris Shelton, Steve Mango, Aaron Smith-Levin, Leah Remini, Mike Render, Nathan Rich, the whole list of people. I think we're doing a good job. Aaron posted a video yesterday about downtown Clearwater. Where's the Sea Org? They're not there. Scientology goes through these phases. When they're being attacked, they huddle up. They keep everybody inside, go on course, do recoveries, a lot of recoveries, phone calls, recoveries, emails, recoveries, BMO, recoveries. And they do use the negative press astonishingly well to recruit new people. So don't let your guard down, because as we speak, there are people being recruited into Scientology. Masters of deception. So I'm going to try and go get some rest. I got the kids in the morning. Mama's going to get her hair did. And I need to go vacuum my car out so I can start trying to get some fares. And if you're in the Louisiana area, hit me up on Facebook. I'd love to give you my Lyft car driver code. It's sort of a self-starter business, so see how it works out. It's what I can do at the moment, my current condition. I also like to throw out there, there's a massively multiplayer online game that I talked about before, where I use Scientology practices to sabotage an organization. If you like MMOs and you like playing games, even if you've never played an online game, this game is essentially dead now. So there's no pressure like when you get in game. It's a pretty open space, beautiful game, post-apocalyptic. It's called Fallen Earth. And if you want to come play with me and my buddies that I inherited from this other clan, that followed me from a very destructive cult-like organization into another cult-like organization that was less culty and a lot more fun, and you'd like to know more about some of the social experiments I conducted in that game, then feel free to download Fallen Earth from Gamers First. Just Google Fallen Earth. It's a free to play game. Doesn't cost you a thing, and it's minimal requirements. The game was released in 2008. I'll give you a clan invite. We'll get you set up, and one of the richest characters in the game, one of the most wealthiest, well, probably the most wealthiest clan in the game as far as materials goes. There were some exploits where people were basically hacking money. All the money that I got in the game came mostly legit through extortion. So I didn't do my customary greeting in the beginning, so I'll end the video with my customary greeting. Xenu Xenu, have a great night. See you soon.